Thank you for watching Reach for the Stars questions 1 through 22 as part of our Algebra 1 EOC review. Question number 1, we want to solve this inequality. We divide both sides by 2. That gives us x greater than or equal to -3. We did not divide by a negative number. We don't have to worry about switching sign. The equal to means that you've got a solid on 3 and you're going to the right, so C would be the answer. Number 2, which of these does not represent a function? Well, just looking at those, we know that for a function, each member of the domain is used only once. And if we look here, 1 is being paired with 9, 1 is being paired with -9. If you graph that, that fails the vertical line test. Also, 2 is being used twice as well. Okay, so B is the one that is not a function. You may have thought that it was this one here, but it's okay for the range to be used more than once. Okay, this one, we're given this equation, and we're asked to solve for S. So since that's a positive 24, we want to subtract 24. We get B minus 24 equal -2S. Divide both sides by -2. We get B minus 24 over -2 equals to S, but I don't see that choice over here. What I do see is that if we separate those, you get B over -2 plus 24 over 2. That's this one, 24 over 2 minus B over 2. So that would be D. This next one, the phone bill, which is T, in terms of the number of minutes, it's a $25 basic fee. And then 7 cents per minute, we know that's going to be our rate of change. Okay, and that would be this one here. All right, this one, we want to solve this formula for H. I notice that there is a proportion here, and we know with proportions we can cross multiply. So P times H squared is equal to 1 times 1.2W. Since we're solving for H, we can divide both sides by P. That gives us H squared is equal to 1.2W divided by P. We're looking for H, not H squared. We square root both sides. And remember, on this side, you have to do plus and minus. So when you do that, you're going to get this answer, which is B. This next one, which is an equivalent representation, well, it looks like all they're doing is they would just want you to realize that y and f of x mean the same thing, so it would be A. Okay, this one, okay, if he joins the garden club, that's these dots. And so I am going to connect those with a line. That's if he joins the garden club. Okay. All right, and then if he does not join the garden club, that's these. Okay, and I noticed that, okay, what's happening is if he joins the garden club, the cost is actually more than buying from the nursery. But right here, something happens. Now the cost from buying from the nursery is more than the cost of the garden club. Okay, and they want to know how many rose bushes will he have to buy from the garden club before he would begin to save money. So the garden club, and we need to know this number here. Okay, and it looks like that X is right around 5. That's the closest. And then after 5, he saves money. He begins to save money. Okay, number 8. We have to remember that distance is equal to rate times time. She's driving 182 miles. She's already driven X miles of the trip, which means that she has only got to drive 182 minus X more. Okay, if she drives below 70 miles per hour for the remainder of the trip, okay, which best represents the time? So we divide by 70, and we get this answer. Another way of saying it would be D. Okay, this is the average temperature, and we want to know the maximum temperature for May 31st. So all they want us to do is to plug in 31 per n into the function. So we do 31 times 0.2. I would do this no calculator if I were you, because you are expected to be able to do some basic arithmetic on the EOC. So the answer would be 86.2 degrees. Guy keeps track of what water he uses. Okay, he finds the less it rains, the more he needs to water the garden to keep his plants healthy. The summer has the 2 driest months were June and August, but it rained heavily in September. Okay, his water usage. Okay, so first of all, the 2 driest months were June and August, so we know that those will be high peaks. Okay, September it rained, he didn't have to water at all, so A would be the answer. Okay, and let's see, her speeches are going up in length. Okay, how long would she have to give a 12-minute speech? Well, first of all, just looking at the data, you can see that every week they're adding 30 minutes to her speeches. Okay, all right, or 30 seconds rather to each speech. Okay, so probably we know this is a linear relationship. Since it's linear, we are looking for y equal mx plus b. Since it's going up 1 each time, we know that that's 30 for your rate of change. We need to find b. And what we can do is plug in any of these ordered pairs. Well, I'm going to use the easiest one. Subtract 90, and we get b is 60. So the function they're using is y equal to 30x plus 60 minutes. What this means, first of all, the y-intercept of 60 means that at the very beginning of this process, the initial speeches were 60 minutes long, or 60 seconds long. And then each week, they're adding 30 seconds to that. We want to know when she will have to give a 12-minute speech. There's a catch here because the time is in seconds here. Before we find the answer, we're going to need to change 12 minutes into seconds. So we're going to multiply by 60. Okay, so a 12-minute speech is 720 seconds long. Okay, and since the length of speech is y, we're going to plug in 720 for here, and we're going to solve this equation for x. So this is 660 is equal to 30x divided by 30. And we get x is equal to 22. So your answer is A. Number 12. He's going at 1.2 feet higher above the ground. That's like a rate of change. Okay, and it says the distance from the top of his head, which is where he started climbing. Okay, so 1.2 is your rate of change. It's either this equation or this equation here. Okay, but since his head off the ground is here, the answer's got to be A. Okay, which sequence describes the relationship between the terms and n in this sequence? Okay, this is very easy to do. What you can do is you can start out by plugging in n for 1. 4 times 1 plus 5 is 9. That means either it's that one or that one. Let's do 4 times 2 plus 5 to find the next one. That's 8 plus 5, 13. It's there, so it's got to be C. Just to check, you could do the third term. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 5, 17. Fourth term, 4 times 4 is 16, plus 5, 21. Fifth term, 4 times 5 is 20, plus 5 is 25. So your answer is C. Okay, they want us to simplify this expression. A half times 4 is 2x squared. A half times negative 6 is negative 3x plus 3x squared minus 3. They want us to combine like terms, so this would be 5x squared minus 3x minus 3. The answer is C. They want the slope of this equation. The best thing to do is to put this in slope-intercept form. Divide by negative 5, and that gives you y equal to 2/5 x. Positive 10 divided by 100 is negative 2, but all they wanted was the slope. That's B. Okay, we're writing a composition, and this is the data he's collected. They want to know the rate of change. I always start right here where I've got a corner. We know that he wrote 15 sentences in 10 minutes, so that would be a rise of 15 over a run of 10. Okay, and we know dividing by 10, that moves the decimal one place. So the answer is 1.5 sentences per minute. Okay? You grab my pen. She's back. Okay? All right. Let's look at the next one here. Okay? The following equation describes this function. We want to know which function this is. First of all, anytime they say find the function, you want to find the rate of change. So let's use these 2 points. We know our rate of change is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We plug in 13 minus 8 over 3 minus 2. That's 5 over 1. We know the rate of change is 5, so we know it's either A or C. The next thing we have to find is the y-intercept. So we'll use y equal mx plus b. We just found out that m was 5. You plug in any of these pairs. We'll go with the easiest ones. When x is 2, y is 8. You get 8 equal to 10 plus b. Subtract 10, b equals negative 2. So there is our answer. Number 18. Which best describes the slope? Okay, as the distance travels increases, and here the distance increased to 60, didn't it? Okay. All right, so it increased by 60. The amount of gas in the tank decreased by 9. So the slope of this thing would be -9/60. I don't see that choice. But I know that we can reduce this. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 60 20 times. Okay, now we can see as the distance, okay, increases by 20, the amount of gas goes down by 3. So the answer would be A, because your rate of change is -3 gallons per 20 miles. Okay, all right, varies directly. Remember, varies directly means y equals kx. The first thing you have to do is find the constant of variation. He harvested 189 potatoes from 9 plants. We have to decide what the independent and the dependent variables are in a direct variation. It looks to me like the number of potatoes depends on the number of plants. So your independent variable is your plants, and 189 is your potatoes. So we're going to plug in 189 and plug in 9 for x. Divide both sides by 9, and you get k equal to 21. So the function is y equals 21x. This means for every plant you plant, you'll get 21 potatoes out of it. Okay, last year, okay, he plants 14. How many potatoes can he expect? Well, remember, okay, the plants was x. So you fill in 14, 21, 21 times 14, 294 potatoes would be the answer. That is C. Okay. To which of these can this function best be applied? Okay. We know the rate of change is 5. If you look at this first one, though, it says 10 miles per hour. They're saying the rate of change is 10. That isn't correct. Okay. Total weight, let's get it, 5 pounds. Place there initially. Initially is y-intercept. And the y-intercept here is 10, not 5. Okay. Also a series of 10-pound weights. That thing would be going up 10 pounds for every time you added a weight. So there 10 is x. So that can't be what we're looking for. Okay, here is a waiter who is paid $5 per hour and earns $10 in tips. $5 per hour, that looks like a rate of change. And the poor waiter is only going to get $10 in tips the whole time. Okay, so that is the answer. Okay, they go to a restaurant. Okay, her dinner costs $5 more than her cousin. Okay, if they're combined it was under 25, which best describes the cost of her dinners? Okay, so let's let X be the cousin. When you are working word problems, the smaller one is normally your variable. Gemma's meal is going to cost X plus 5. Okay, and it says the combined was under $25. Your answer is going to be, there's the cousin, there's Gemma, and added together, it's under $25. Okay, here we currently have that many people. We're given a rate of change of that per year, and we want the number it will take for the population to reach 18,000 people. Okay, well, first of all, okay, we want a rate of change to be 325. Automatically, we know the answer is either A or B because it's written as a rate of change. Your answer is A because you're starting out, your y-intercept is this amount. You are adding 325 people per year, and altogether that will put you to 18,000. All right, that concludes our homework for tonight. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow in class. Bye-bye.